So Brent did hire Matt Plumer because he was experiencing, a lot of the same issues I outlined, and I'm thinking at least 2 other people in this room experience. And after he hired Matt helped him streamline his systems. He helped reduce the costs. He helped increase Brent's profit. And Matt is going to teach each of us how to create wealth regardless of where we are on that economic spectrum. Whether you're making, 50 grand a year or 5 million a year, there is a way that Matt can help you. So the next 90 minutes could be scary. We're in the scary season. That could be scary. It could be honestly depressing, right? Talking about money is not exactly, you don't think when you go home at night, hey, what am I going to do? I'm going to talk about budgets and money, right? It's not typically what people come up with, but it could also be life-changing. So the good news is you are not in this alone. You are not dumb. You are not too late to change your future, regardless of where you are at. So are you ready to make a change? All right, please stand up, put your hands together, and welcome to the stage, Matt Plumer.
What's up, Roseville? Good to see you guys. Everything good? You hear me good? Awesome. He said 90 minutes. It's like 9 hours, so buckle up. We're going to spreadsheets, budgets, we're going to dial it in today. It's so good to be here. I was here last year, this week. I guess I got the October rotation in Sacramento. Who was here last year? Good, so a few people. This will be a review. I think one of the things we talked about at breakfast this morning, who is a learner in the room? Great. I believe that especially in 2025, going into 2026, we need to learn less and be reminded more. Who's with me? We know enough. Fair? Great. So today is going to be one of those things that we're going to talk about some things that we probably already know, like spend less than you make. Concept, right? I mean, life-changing. However, but are we actually practicing it, right? Pay ourselves first. It's kind of what Grandma told us, right? Our parents told us we had to pay ourselves first. So we're going to be talking about some things that are fairly simple, but also I believe people make them complex because they want to avoid them. Who here has ever put their head or felt like maybe I'll just put my head in the sand and go sell another house? You guys are liars. Awesome. So, as Johnny said, thanks again, Rob, Johnny, Brent. It's awesome been a part of, Brent's world for the last 7 years and a part of his inner circle and part of his team for the last 16, 18 months. It's been an honor. We're going to go on a journey today and talk about how to create stress-free wealth, right? This novel concept of wealth building as an entrepreneur, as a real estate agent, how to turn inconsistent income into predictable profits, how to actually figure this out, because who signed up to be in the world of real estate to be awesome contract writers, therapists, chauffeurs, right? We didn't. Who got in here we got in for the money. Show me the money. Yeah, we got in for the freedom. We got in for the money. So let's go do it, right? How are we going to exit this transaction treadmill, right? Some of us are going to do it through team building. Some of us are going to do it through recruiting. Some of us are going to do it through selling houses. But here's what we know. We can't sell our way to wealth and we can't save our way to wealth. We have to have a plan and a system. And when I got exposed to our financial transformation, this all didn't start as me getting a real estate license and talking in front of a group of 200 people. It started 300 pounds, alcoholic, addictive sports gambler, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, fast food twice a day, on the marriage counselor's couch, 14 months after I'd been married. Yay me. Thought I had it all figured out. Guys, I thought I was pulling it off. Clearly, I also can't see. But I was asked a very, very important question, and we're going to talk about. I'm going to say something today. You're going to hear it, or I'm going to say it, or it's going to come into your brain a different way. I want to encourage you. We're in a small environment today. The thing that we're going to talk about is the most personal and intimate thing that you guys have: money. And there's going to be somebody in the room that it's going to hit them emotionally. I promise you, it happens every time. And it's not my story. It's something's going to be said, and you're going to go through a transformation today. And I just want to encourage you, eyes up. That person is having a moment. If they want to invite you in, they'll let you in. So this is like eyes on our own paper type of thing, because something is going to be said or heard today that somebody's going to get emotional, and it's because they might not have paid taxes in the last 2 years. It might be that they write down that they've got $100,000 of credit card debt or $20,000 of debt that their spouse doesn't know about. Like, that's real stuff. Gang, I have 15 coaching calls every single Wednesday. Cancer is brought up once a month. Divorce is brought up once a month. I go through an emotional roller coaster in 12 hours. This stuff is real because we all love Jesus. Jesus does everything, but money touches everything. And so we're going to talk about some stuff, and like this transformation that Melinda and I went through that led me to this stage in Sacramento is because of rawness and realness. And so I just encourage you to let the people, sit in that silence. So that's my disclaimer for the day. That, and I don't offer financial advice. But this is not theory. So we were on a marriage counselor's couch. Me on one side, Melinda on the other. I took up more of the couch than she did. And I was asked a very specific question. He said, Matt, I've heard you. I get it. Melinda's terrible. You're great. Let me ask you a question. Can you go 90 days without a drink? I was like, I'm not in here for alcohol counseling. He's like, I know. Could you go 90 days without a drink? And I said, you know what? I can do anything I put my mind to. Who's been there? We can do it. If it's up to me, I'll do it. But she'll still be the same person that she is today. Wrong. I realized I was looking external. I wasn't looking internal. Who's fell victim of that in the past? Rates, market. It's COVID's fault, it's pandemic's fault, it's Biden's fault, it's Trump's fault. No. Did you do the lead generation? Did you make your calls? Did you make your Facebook post? Did you send the emails? No, right? We always looking external. And he said, and I said, she'll still be the same person. He said, you know what? I hear that a lot, but I'm here to tell you, you got 12 months or you're going to be dead, divorced, and jail or broke. I've heard it all. And that sent me on a journey of transformation that led me to saying, hey, I want to lose weight. Clearly, I needed to drop a few pounds. Size XXX Tommy Bahama button-down shirt proves that. So I started losing weight, started getting some victories on the scale. Some scale victories, some non-scale victories. Shout out for some non-scale victories. Pants fit a little looser, belt feels a little lighter, right? Started winning on the scale, making right-hand turns. When I got to the fork in the road, I was just making right-hand turns, right? Any NASCAR fans, everybody makes left-hand turns. Where do they end up? The exact same spot. So I started making right-hand turns, right? Salads versus pizza. Diet Coke versus alcohol. Started drinking less. Made a decision to not drink one day, and I enjoyed it. But I never showed up to the coaching session 7 days sober. I was losing weight, but I wasn't making traction on this sobriety thing. And he said, every week I showed up, he's like, man, how much weight have you lost? And I was like, 3 pounds, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 2 pounds. He was like, great. How many days sober are you? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. He was like, why aren't you 7 days sober? Because I didn't make a decision. May 18th, 2012. I wasn't in the real estate industry, but shocking, I went to a networking event with real estate agents and I had 2 drinks. That's what we did. And I was driving down I-66 back in Virginia where we used to live. And I was like, I just threw away 5 days of sobriety for 2 drinks in an hour. I'm like, I'm done. May 19th, 2012, I woke up, didn't drink, showed up to my counselor session, 5 days sober, showed up to the next session, 12 days sober. Interesting. And I haven't drank since May 19th, 2012. And so thank you. That led to not placing a bet, that led to entrepreneurship, right? I'm gonna warn you all, when you go through a transformation, and maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's smoking, maybe it's food, weight loss, right? Maybe it's gonna be financial. You create space in your calendar. The devil loves idle hands. And when you drink, gamble, and smoke, and for 90 days and you don't, you get real bored between 4 and 10 p.m. Right? And so I was looking forward, right? We're going to talk about today. I was looking through the board. We always look at the board, right? Rob, do I have a marker?
Yes, they're on your podium right now.
Oh, perfect. So when I was going through this transformation, and I'll just stay here. I don't need to bring it up because I'll bring it back. When we're here, right, this is today. We're going down this line of time. We're here, and we're trying to make a decision in life, and we're going to talk about transformation in a minute. And we want to go down this line of time, but we're looking at the board, and how far can we see down the line of time? The answer is as many commissions as you have. How much cash do you have, right? How far down the line of time? Can anybody see Christmas? Maybe, right? We can see EXPCon. It's next Tuesday. But can you see Thanksgiving? Can you see Christmas? No, right? And so we have our deal and we fight this fire. And then we have the next deal and we fight this fire. And then the deal closes that was supposed to be the thing that would ramp us up into 2026. And we want to go here. This is our Oz. But we fight this fire and we're on this drift for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and look how far away we're getting from the target that we want to get to, because we're looking at the board. We're not looking through the board. So I started looking through the board, and this is 15 years ago, gang, and I'm like, I'm staring college football, MLB playoffs, NFL season, and I just got off this treadmill of wanting to transform myself. I lost 30 pounds in sober 90 days. If I don't find something to fill this gap, I'm going to be right back in with chicken wings, pitcher of beer, and who knows what else, and gambling on sports in 90 days. So I got exposed to entrepreneurship, kept losing weight, helped other people lose weight, started making more money, got exposed to Jesus, became saved, found myself 2 years later on a couch with my wife, and I had to tell her we were $500,000 in debt. After losing 100 pounds, after being sober, and after finding Jesus. Yes, we got to do it all over again. We got exposed to Dave Ramsey. Shout out to Dave. Found a mentor who has been where I was. And I listened to what he said, and I read books, because I did not know what to do with money. I made money, I bought things I could afford on payments. Who's been there? The parking lot is filled with them. Right? That's what we do. We buy things because we can afford payments, not because we can afford them. I did it. Cars, timeshares, clothes, trips, everything. So that sent us on a journey, 37 months. 40 months later, we paid off all the debt, did our debt-free scream on the Dave Ramsey show, sacrifice, delayed gratification. It sucked. But I did it all for you guys. Because I'm going to give you the fast track. Because one thing I found about real estate agents is you guys want it fast and you want it short. And how do I get out of this so I don't have to do it all over again? So we've condensed the cycle to lower the water, raise the bridge, reduce expenses, make more money. And so your boat that you're trying to get from one side of the lake to the other can stop hitting the bridge over and over and over. Because if you're trying to get from one side of the lake to the other, and if you have holes in your boat, does it matter how fast you paddle? Nope. Doesn't matter how many houses you sell. You're going to sink. Just a bigger boat, it's going to, you get more transactions, it's just more you're going to sink slower, right? And so as I was going through this transformation, I was like, I have to go make more money. Who makes all the money? Real estate agents. They make all the money. It's so easy. So I got my real estate license, I put my first deal under contract, and I went into a room like this and said, Johnny, what would you do with your first $10,000 check? What would you do with your check? What would you do with your check? Gary, what would you do with your check? Haley, what would you do with your check? And I didn't hear, buy real estate, hire a coach, create a marketing system. I heard, pay last year's taxes and next month's car note. And I'm like, y'all are my people. The buyer and the seller is no longer my client. The room of real estate agents and entrepreneurs are the people that I'm going to go work with for the rest of my life. Because it's what brought me energy. Helping Clark go and buy and sell a house was money. It didn't help me. But sitting down with Clark and walking him through how are we going to go to Oz, changed my spirit. I'm like, if it changes my spirit, I can go change everybody's life. And so I did. I went and interviewed 100 real estate agents. I started having conversations with real estate agents about the money. Just like Dave Ramsey did 40 years ago with a projector and a bad suit. I just did it with a cool jacket and new shoes. Like my shoes? And so over time, I found out and I interviewed people. And I wrote an ebook, How to Create Stress-Free Wealth. This is your first gift. By the way, we're going to have, I got about 30, 40 minutes, and then we're going to go into Q&A because I want to serve this room without an agenda. Is that cool? I want to make sure you leave here. If you have a question, I want to make sure it's answered. If I do a good enough job today, do I earn the right to offer you an opportunity to spend more time together later this month? Great. This is your first step. Just download it. Read through it. It'll take 25, 30 minutes. But what this is the 5 financial mistakes that real estate agents make. And we're not going to go through all of them today, but we are going to talk through a couple of the principles that I've pulled out to how you can start to take the next step. Okay? Everybody good? Yeah. Awesome. So, to create your financial transformation, I had these conversations, and here's what I found out. Real estate agents don't make as much as they think, spend more than we care to admit, which generally leaves us behind on taxes and or retirement. And the 2 things that bring the most stress and anxiety to real estate agents is inconsistent income and financial disorganization. Can I get an amen? So what we're going to go do over the next 20, 30 minutes is talk through a framework on how to create a financial transformation. Step 1, awareness. This is your 300-pound on the couch moment. Write down your reality. What's true? I have this much cash. Johnny just did it. Val's pregnant. Congratulations, Val. Where'd you go? Probably. Sorry, Val. What's true? I have this much cash. I have this many closings. I have this many pendings. I have this much expenses. I have this much debt. I have this relationship with Melinda. I have this relationship with my spouse. I have this relationship over and over and over. What is reality? Write it down. All facts. No shame, no blame, no guilt, just the facts. The facts are truth, and the truth will set you free. Just be honest with yourself. Maybe for the first time ever. Just be real. 300 pounds, alcoholic, addictive sports gambler, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, arguing with my wife on what I ate for dinner and who I talked to. Dumb. But that's what reality was. So we started to fix it, and we wrote down our facts. Do not cast shame, blame, or guilt, whether it's in the room, right, or whether it's tonight at the dinner table. Do not blame yourself. You've done the best you can for what you know. It's time to just move on. Because if you don't own it, you can't change it. And I want everyone to make a commitment. When I'm here next October, Shameless plug, Rob.
Okay.
I want everyone to be in a different location, different place. Clark, I want you to have 500 agents, not 100, right? Gary, I want you selling 5 houses a month, right? Or 10 houses a month, different location than you are today, right? If you have $50,000 worth of debt, I don't want you to have any debt. If you need $100,000 in the bank, save $100,000. How many houses is that? You might have to sell an extra house. Figure it out. That's what I'm here for. But you can't do anything unless you know exactly where you are. And then identify where you want to go. What is your Oz? Write down what you actually want. Melinda and I want to live 3 to 6 months in Cabo by the time we're 55. We're 47. Right? We love the beach. We love the sand. We love the ocean. We love golf. We love the mountains. There's only a few places on earth that all exist where we like. Cabo is one of them. It's also where we got married. So one of the things that Melinda and I work through, and I help every single person do this inside of the wealth department and one-on-one stuff is we create a wealth map. We know what we have to have for that to happen. First of all, our house has to be paid off. We have no consumer debt. We have no mortgage debt. We're making X amount of dollars a month. We have X amount of dollars in retirement. And when you buy a house in Cabo San Lucas, they don't do mortgages. So you just need a suitcase full of money as well. So we know what those numbers are. So now how easy is it for me to figure out how many more people I need to go serve? Now it's just math. How many webinars, how many challenges, how many masterclasses, how many speaking engagements, over and over and over and over and over. I got it in the 8-year runway. Now it's just math. Everything is just math. The path is all math. Okay? So this is why I want you to get granular on this awareness stuff. Be real, maybe for the first time ever. Okay? If you got it, say I got it. Great. Second thing is you got to make the decision. What's going to be your drive down I-66 moment to where you make a decision to not drink again? Or at least tomorrow. Now, for some of you, it's not alcohol. But it might be something else. It's always something else. Maybe it's food. Maybe it's porn. Right? Maybe it's work. Something. Right? Maybe it's credit cards. I'm done using credit cards. Cutting them out. Whatever it is. What decision are you going to make? And then, where are we going to be intentional? How are we going to track it? So I created the wealth method, intentionality. I created the wealth method, wisdom, earn, accumulate, lend, track, habits. Wisdom, earn, accumulate, lend, track, habits. Today is wisdom. Right? We probably need to go earn more. We need to accumulate money. We need to lend it, invest it. We need to track it. And we also need to create a habit around it. What's the habit that you're going to create around your money? I'm going to look at my bank account every day. I'm going to look at my Every Dollar budgeting app every day. Inside of the wealth department, the ones that really want to crush, we open up a WhatsApp channel. They send me a picture of their budget, and they send me an emoji with their thumbs up or a bank account or whatever it is. We never have to talk. I just need to know if you checked your budget before you ended the day. Did you track the transactions? Did you look at your bank account? Do you know what's going on? Did you spend 5 minutes to make sure you have $5 million? Every day. We don't even have to talk. It's just, did you do it or did you not do it? Yes or no? Because their intentionality is the thing that will win. Me making an intentional decision every day to not drink for the last 13 years. Every day I've made that decision. Today I don't even know how long it is because it's just not there. Sports betting, doesn't matter. I live in Las Vegas. Don't bet, don't sports, no, don't smoke. I walk into the casino once a week to go to dinner, twice a month. And it's just like, okay, chips, dings, lines, sirens, doesn't matter anymore. Because a habit was created. I was disciplined long enough for habit to take over. Sometimes that's 60 days, sometimes it's 90 days, sometimes it's 9 years, right? Okay, cool. But where are you going to be intentional around what you wrote down? You wrote down all your stuff, what decision you need to make, and then where are you going to be intentional? Okay? All right. The path to profit. So, these next things, so that was a framework. These are standards. These are principles that we implement to create stress-free wealth, right? So we have to go through that transformation to go from here to here. Now, path to profit. Who here has heard of the book Profit First? Okay. Hold your hands up. Watch this. Who's read the book? Who set up 5 bank accounts? 4. Implementation, intentionality, right? They knew it, they made a decision, but they weren't intentional. Profit first, the path to profit, is the number one way to create stress-free wealth. Why? It's because you take all of the risk in owning the business, right? Johnny, who owns your business? Okay, Johnny does. Who's the most important employee? Valerie. Other than Valerie, who's the most important employee? Right, Johnny. Will. Okay. Who should get paid first? Valerie. Bad example. Great example, actually. You can tell they're obviously walking side by side. Yoked together, I love it. But we got to pay ourselves first. You all take risks of owning this business. I want you to have money set aside to owning the business. Who runs or knows what a profit and loss statement looks like? Okay, great. Sales, list of expenses, net profit, right? This is what it looks like. For those of you who don't, there's half the room new and half the room doesn't. So let's just draw it out real quick, right? It's a list of revenue, so sales, right? $1 million, right? Great year, 2026, crush it. It's a list of expenses, admin, payroll, coaching, travel, events, marketing, etc. And then net income, profit, is down here. Where's the very first place that we look? Bottom right. That's where we look. So if we make $1 million and we spend 400, right, 30 grand a month in our business, if you have $1 million business or you run a team, and again, if you're a solo agent, this is going to be a lot less, right? It might be 100 grand and $40,000, right? This is 600,000. Great year. Meet with your CPA, meet with your bookkeeper. By the way, October 15th was yesterday. Everybody filed their taxes. Everybody good on their S Corp. It's interesting why you guys have me come in October. For all these on-time real estate agents that have already filed their taxes. Sales minus expenses equals profit. It's what we all learned. 2 questions. You meet with your CPA, you meet with your coach, you meet with your bookkeeper, and it's like, man, you had a great year, $600,000 net profit. What are you going to do? And you're like, 2 questions. Where's the 600 grand? Does anybody have it in the bank account? Second question, where's the 200 grand out of the 600 you owe the government on the money you just made? Right. All those people that heard about Profit First want to set up them bank accounts. Because that's what we help people do. We flip this script. This is sales minus expenses equals profit, gang. It's backwards. It's kind of like all of the things that are out there, all of the brick and mortar buildings of the real estate businesses in 2025 that have built their business over the last 30 years backwards. That's why cloud-based brokerages are the thing of the future, right? We're going to flip the script, sales minus profit equal expenses. Johnny, you're going to get paid first on every transaction for the rest of time. It might be 1%, but it's better than not having any money. It's better than wondering where this money is, because you're going to know where it is, because there's going to be a bank account called profit. Now, after the owner's paid, who gets to pay? Who gets next paid? Okay, so taxes, yes, but think about it. Who sold the deal? Did Johnny sell the deal? Maybe, maybe not. But we got to pay the person that sold the deal. If you're a solo agent, you get profit and you get paid for compensation. You did the work, or you ran the team. So we need an account for that. Now we got to set aside money for the government. They want their 5, 10, 15, 20%, 30% in some states, not Nevada. It's a great state. So what are we going to do to organize that? It's another account. Write this down. When in doubt, open an account. There's a lot of them. But there's a reason why our business, coaching business, is about 70% profit. Because we pay ourselves first. That's why the people in my coaching business come in at 10, 15, 20%, and in a year they're at 40, 50, 60% profit. It's because we lean hard into this stuff. So we have to pay ourselves first. And then we leave the money left. So sales minus profit equal expenses. We force the business to work on what's left. I can promise you that when we dive into Made for More Realty and we look at your expenses where we said $8,000 expenses, when a year from now, and we've implemented and ran Profit First for 12 months, did it with Brent's organization, Gove Enterprises. We did it with Brent's household. We've done it with the Plumer household. We've done it with a couple other people in the room that are part of the wealth department and one-on-one coaching. They have a plan for their taxes. They have a plan, and they force their business to work on what's left. There's only so many dollars. If you spend money and run your business off of $1 million, how much money are you going to spend? $1 million. If we flip this and we pay ourselves the $600 first, how much are we going to spend in the business? $400. Say interesting. Yeah, one person got it. Can we get her a mic? Can you go with me everywhere and just say, interesting? Okay, so we got to pay ourselves first. Now, one of my greatest success stories in this is to give you we're going to go back and forth between vegetables and dessert. That was veggies. This is the dessert. Josh Rogers. I met Josh in 2015. In the midst of my transformation. Back then, Josh had, I think, 2 kids. 1, 2, yeah, he had 2. Then he had 3, and then he came to me and said, hey man, I see you doing all this money stuff. I know we got a real estate license. I got a real estate license. He and I linked up and started walking together. I shared our story. He was like, man, I got $138,000 worth of debt. The sheriff just came and knocked on my door to repo the car. I talked him out of it. He's got 2 kids, 1 on the way. He said, I got to sell 6 houses to break even. Can you walk me through this? I'm like, sure thing, man. Because I don't want you to burn it to the ground, and I don't want you to have to go back in and get another job. You love what you do. So he and his operations manager figured out a lead generation system. We looked at Profit First, and I said, hey man, I need you to do this step by step, exactly how I say. He's like, whatever. I got it. I have to. The sheriff can't knock on my door again. Him and his wife got on the same page. He opened up the playbook. He opened up his bank accounts. We said, hey, can you live on $10,000 a month? He said, yes. Anything else goes towards debt. 12 months later, $138,000 worth of debt gone. He's like, great. I still have to sell houses to pay all of these expenses that I've incurred over the years for my real estate team. I'm like, great, we're going to implement Profit First. 1% profit month 1, 40 months later, 40% profit. Top line, not bottom line, top line profit. In the middle of the pandemic, saves $100,000 year 3, $150,000. Year 4 pays off his house. He got rich, and clearly he got sexy because they have 7 or 8 kids now. It's a Rogers party of 8, or party of 10 now. Just a gorgeous family that loves the Lord, and just a huge family, and runs a team of 14 agents in Northeast Florida, the number 1 team in Northeast Florida, and they take 40 to 50 cents of every dollar first and force the business to work on what's left. He's the self-proclaimed internet mayor of Jacksonville, Northeast Florida. Spends $0 and has 45,000 followers on Instagram. Has an incredible Instagram channel, has an incredible YouTube channel. Doesn't pay anything for it. To support a team of 15 on what's left. And that's a decision away, gang. There's people in this room that are 1 or 2 decisions away from that being their reality 24 months from now. Or less. Just how do we get from A to B? We don't have to solve that problem of how to get to Oz. I don't have to solve how to get to Cabo. I do have to solve how to get to the end of January. I can see January, right? I can pay off that debt. I can get rid of that expense. I don't need to do it. I can pick up lead gen. Like, how much does it cost to make a Facebook post, send an email, and send DMs? Yeah. Shoot an Instagram video, post it on thing, learn how to do better. Like, it just doesn't cost that much money anymore. But we want this shiny object thing over and over and over and add for our expenses because we run our business on $1 million, not 400,000. So that's the methodology that I want you guys to encapsulate today, is that we want to pay ourselves first so we force our business to work on what's left. Does that make sense? Great. Cool. All right. So, dessert, Josh crushes it. I can make a connection. I can show you how he's done it. It's a world-class, just a gorgeous success story. Okay. Number 2, adding age to money. Now, I want you to hear what this is, because all of us need to do adding age to our money, but a lot of us call it something different. Okay. What adding age, so when I was interviewing these agents, and I've got Brent in my calendar, I've got one of the top teams at EXP in my calendar, I've got a property an appraisal company that does $4 or $5 million top line, I've got a digital marketer that does $6 to $10 million a year. Like, I've got some ballers that I work with. And one of the biggest challenges that they all face, and this is for the solo agent as well, is that the money that comes in is already spent before it comes in. And if it's not already spent, they don't have anything for 3 months down the road when they want to go to the brokerage event, or they want to go to the thing, or they want to, Christmas is on December 25th this year. Should we take a little bit of the money that we make every single month so we don't have to use a credit card on Black Friday? Can we make that commitment today? Let's start small. We don't have to split the atom. Can we not use a credit card on Black Friday? And take $100 out of every check so we have $2,000 to have an amazing Christmas for whoever, ourselves or whoever else, for Christmas. So when we adding age to money, I was seeing all of these agents, the teams and the solo agents, and even the team agents. Do we have any team agents? Shout out to team agents if you're in the room. Any team agents in the room? Okay, team leaders, but team agents, agents on a team. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. So again, team agents don't have a ton of expenses like we're talking about. They're like, it costs $400,000 to run. No, that's to run a team, right? So, but again, those expenses are reduced. But however, team agents still have to get their license. They still have to do their renewals. They still have to do their CE credits. They still have to file taxes. They still want to go to brokerage events. Things that Made for More doesn't pay for, right? So what are those things? Hey, we need to save for that every month so we have the money. EXPCon is next week. if I interview the majority of people in this room that aren't going to EXPCon, or if you're not at EXP, your brokerage event, what do you think the number one reason that people don't go to their brokerage conference is? Money in the bank. And they've made 300 grand this year. Why? It's because they didn't take $200 out of every commission to pay for a $1,000 ticket, a $1,000 flight, a $1,000 hotel room to go learn or be in an environment where they can go triple their income in the next 6 to 12 months. It's the number one reason why. Because they didn't add age to their money. Who here has ever felt the squeeze on when they had a down month? Everybody. Whose fault is that? It's the buyer's fault that wanted to close the next month. We get it. Not even a down month. What happens when the buyer is supposed to close on the 20th and it moves to the next month? And your cap just reset. And you thought you were going to make 20 grand. And now it's not 20 grand, it's 14 grand. And you forgot there was a referral on it. Now it's 10 grand. How much easier would it be if you had an account with $20,000 in it to make up for the thing that you didn't pay attention on, or you got kicked in the teeth one day and you got gut punched, or you got off a coaching call and you looked at your phone and your wife's like, "We need to talk," and I'm like, "Don't ever send me that text message, especially when I'm on a Zoom call, because I see it." And let me know that she got laid off. But we made it because we had money. Write this down. I can't have enough cash. You can have 30 investment properties. You can be the cashest trash person on the planet. I can promise you this: Grant Cardone cannot have enough cash. Trust me. We can't have enough cash, especially in 2026. We might have been able to get away with it in 2012, not in 2026. Things cost way too much money and things can happen so fast. So we got to add age to money. Now, and guess what? We need another account for it. When in doubt, open an account. We need an account called Next Month's Money. And out of every check, we just add a little bit to it so that 6 months from now, we've got 2 or 3 months of expenses in it, personal and business. Do I pay off debt first or do I do that? I don't know. But would you rather pay a little bit of interest knowing that groceries and your mortgage or your rent and your car payment and everything was good for 90 days? When you're a solo operator and the Fed can raise interest rates from 6 to 8% overnight? Yeah. I want you to have cash. Cash is your oxygen. You can't have enough of it. Okay? Adding age to money. It's a principle. Every check, we're going to add money to next month. Every check, we're going to add money to the quarter. Every check, we're going to add money to something down the road that we're going to spend on. And when you fill up those buckets, gang, it's yourself. It's called investing. It's the S&P 500, or it's a retirement property, or it's a rental property, or it's just we're paying ourselves for the future, whatever the future is, whether it's an expense or an investment. Okay? Now, I did not come up with this. My amazing wife did. Okay? My amazing wife, Melinda. Does anyone follow me on social media? Okay. Do you also follow Melinda? Or follow our little jokes back and forth? Okay. Right here. My girl from Reston. All right, we knew each other 10 years ago. Adding age to money. We paid off $500,000 worth of debt. We had no money, gang. Like, we worked our butts off to get to zero. Like, we've started looking up at the fishbowl. Right? We didn't have any money. We went on a trip to New York City. And we lived in Northern Virginia. We had no money, no time. Worst place on planet Earth to go is New York City. We did it. I was Jack Burns We were here, going to eat here, do this, travel here, over and over and over. I thought we were perfect. It was the worst 48 hours of our life. On the way home, we went for Melinda's birthday, by the way, which is in November. And I want you guys to hear this. I asked her how her birthday was, and she was like, could have been better, but the cheesecake was good. I was like, man. And she said, I think next year we should probably have a little bit more time for my birthday. I was like, okay, all right, sure. You've overcome a lot. You've stayed with me, right? Remember the picture, right? She stayed with me the whole way. She's like, I think I want to go to a new country every year for my birthday. Like, okay. And I also want to do something fun and adventurous on my birthday. It's like, cool. All right, we can figure this out. Got 12 months. We live in Northern Virginia, and I'm like, we got the Bahamas, we got Bermuda, we got the Dominican, we got the Caribbean. Let's just start something small, just hot shot 2 hours down the street, no problem. So where would you like to go next year for your birthday? Australia. I'm like, we passed 20 countries on the way there. And I'm like, can we find something a little bit cheaper? We just got out of this mess and you want us to go right back in it? She's like, well, you're this new hotshot real estate agent and you make all this money and we don't have any debt. You'll figure it out. And so I'm like, Australia. I didn't even think about going to Australia, looking at the board. And so I'm like, okay, here's what I need you to do. I need you to figure out how much it's going to cost. Because again, the path is all math. She comes back to me with a 14-page generation spreadsheet and says, this is how much it's going to cost to take me to my birthday trip to Australia. And I'm like, by the way, why Australia? Because it's only one of two places in the country or in the world where you can go scuba diving with great white sharks. That's what I said. I was like, nope, these feet are made for tee boxes, young lady, not deep sea scuba diving with great white sharks. What do you think we did? And we found out that it was about $12,000 to $15,000 for flights to and from, flights around the country, hotels, food, and we just kind of planned things out. And it was about 12 or 15 grand. And I'm like, $10,000 a house. It takes us $6,000 to live. We live on Melinda's income. I can take $6,000. We can invest. We can save for the future, add our emergency fund, and I can add $2,000 out of every check to go to Australia. That's only 6 houses. We can go to Australia. So in 2018, we went to Australia. And we dove with great white sharks. And I was also asked her, I said, why Australia again for your birthday? And she said, well, also, it's one of the only places I'll get to celebrate my birthday twice. Once in Australia birthday, and then the next day it'll be my birthday in America, so I'll get to celebrate my birthday twice. So on birthday number 1, we did the sharks, and on birthday number 2, she got to hug a koala bear on her birthday. And there's only one place in the world you can do that. And there's only one place in Australia you can do that, and it happened to be about 4-hour drive away from where we did the sharks. But it didn't stop in Australia. 2019, Belize. 2020, St. Lucia. 21, we started buying a house in Las Vegas, so there was no big trip in 21. 22, if you can see, we did Machu Picchu. 22, Machu Picchu. 23, Dubai. Who's been to Dubai? Put it on your list. Las Vegas times Miami times New York times 10. Put it on your list. You gotta go. And then last year we did Costa Rica. All with cash, all because of adding age to our money. What did that force me to do? Go make more money. How? By serving more people. Because of intentionality. Because we made a decision and I understood what she wanted. Add age to your money, gang. It'll change your life. It'll change your marriage. It'll change your business. That's where stress-free wealth starts, is adding age to your money. Now, one of the most heartbreaking stories of 2025 is Kapalua. This is a story of what happens when you don't have an alternative plan. Do we have any golfers in the room? Has anybody been to Kapalua? Left was a picture I took in May. Gorgeous. One of my favorite places on planet Earth. Billion-dollar owners, makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. The picture on the right was 3 weeks ago. Because the water authority and the government took their water away. And they're in the Pacific Ocean. And they have hundreds of millions of dollars. And they couldn't figure out how to take salt water and turn it into water to put it on a golf course. They didn't have a backup plan. They lost the PGA Tour signature event that kicks off the year because they didn't have a backup plan. Don't be Kapalua. It'll come back. It'll be fine. But for a year or two, it's going to look like that or worse. It's rained every day in Maui, by the way. They're blaming it on the drought. No, they didn't have a plan. Have a plan. If you got it, say I got it. Got it. Next, freedom spending plan. What's a freedom spending plan, Matt? Well, for my nerds, it's called a budget. For my people that are extra and my free spirits, it's called a budget. Cindy. We're not talking budget, Cindy. We're talking budget, Cindy. Freedom spending plan. Here it is. Plan your money before you spend it. You only have so much money. You can only spend so much money minus X because you've got to add age to it because you have to save and invest. Plan the money before you begin. My Facebook post today, I talk about my framework on what I do with our money. I do a cash flow plan on the beginning of the month, business and personal. I track our net worth on the 15th of the month. Or on every Friday, I make my transfers to my Profit First accounts. On the 15th of the month, we talked about in the wealth department yesterday, I look forward 45 days. How much money is coming in? How many expenses are going out? How many trips does Melinda want to go on? How many Halloween costumes does she want to buy? How many skeletons are showing up at the house? How many nutcrackers are getting painted? If you go to my Facebook, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's these gorgeous 6-foot nutcrackers sitting in our kitchen getting waited to get painted. But we have an account for Halloween decorations because that fuels Melinda's spirit. What fuels my spirit? My TPC golf membership, and make sure I have unlimited Titleist golf balls. That fills my bucket. When I travel, I make sure my golf clubs come with me because I'm playing golf every single time. It fuels my spirit. We add age to our money. We have a spending plan. Every single time we get paid, I already know what's happening to the money. Who can feel freedom in that? When you know you've got a $10,000 check, before it hits, you're already doing this, and this with it. On the business side, that's called profit, owners pay, taxes, operation expenses. At home, it's called giving, saving, investing, and spending. It's just that. Call it the facts. Say it out loud before you do it. The number one way that I quit smoking, has anyone ever smoked and quit smoking in the room? Okay. Losing 100 pounds, quit drinking, quit gambling is easier than quitting smoking. Combined. Fact. The only way I was able to quit smoking was to say it out loud. What am I actually doing? I'm going in for $10. I get 2 packs of cigarettes. I'm lighting tobacco, paper, nicotine, chemicals, fiberglass on fire and inhaling it into my lungs 40 times a day. Pretty easy to quit when you say it out loud. Hard to quit when you're at the bar drinking a Coors Light, just letting them rip. Or on the golf course, every hole, fire, 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 fire. I played golf with a guy the other day that literally was having a cigarette on every hole. And I'm like, I remember the days. but I remember how it feels in the morning. And, and how I felt in the morning versus how he felt at the Aria, I can promise you I felt better. Right? And again, this is no cast and no shame, no blame, no guilt. It's just what I did. But when you say it out loud, I'm making this much money, right? When we did our first budget, gang, when we did our first cash flow plan, we were making 8 and spending 14. Month 1. 100 months later, it's considerably different. It's because we've done it every single day and every single month for the last 10 years. I didn't just walk up on stage and say, oh, we should do a budget. No, we've done it every single month. My clients do it every single month. My students do it every single month. The past clients and the people that are no longer in my coaching program, they do it every single month. Cash freedom spending plan. Call it whatever you want. Call it a cash flow plan, call it a budget, call it whatever. But no longer can it be, it's not in the budget. Melinda's like, hey, can we do this or can I do that? Or a client says, hey, I want to go, we need to get a truck or we need to do this thing. I'm like, cool. Show me in your EveryDollar app where you're paying for it. And it's about as quiet as this room. Because they don't have a plan. They're just like, oh, I'll just go borrow money. No, false. Figure it out without spending or without borrowing money. Take debt off the table. And so when you have that, when you now flip the switch and you have that as when you take something off the table because you make a decision and you can be intentional, freedom occurs. And I don't know of anyone that has more freedom in their life than Rachel and Jono. Rachel came to me. There was nothing going on in the world at that time. It was February 2020. Just celebrated, New Year's. And she came to me and said, hey, I've been following you, and my husband and I need to get we need to figure out our money stuff. And again, there's nothing going on in the country in February 2020. I was like, cool, we can work on it. Let's work 90 days together. We can, probably have like a $5,000 or $6,000 shift in your budget and in your net worth, and we can, kind of ease into, the spring and the summer of 2020. We're coming off a great year, right? And she hadn't sold any real estate, and in about 4 or 5 months, she was, part-time agent at that time. And the very first thing that we worked on was how much money they spent. And they uncovered that her husband, Jono, makes $6,000 a month, works for the government in DC. And she hadn't sold a house, and they were spending about $9,000. And we spent 45 days on how they could live on $6,000, or her husband's income, whatever that is, right, for you. And then over those 45 days, she got excited, right? You get that dopamine hit. It's like, hey, we figured it out. Do you think she can go probably get some energy to go sell some real estate? Sold a house, had $4,000 come in, threw it at debt. Sold another house, had $8,000 came in, threw it at debt. 6 months later, $25,000 shift in her net worth from 14 coaching calls. Because she made a decision to figure out how to live and stabilize the present to structure the future. And we started talking about something through the pandemic of like this massive transformation. People don't understand or realize a freedom that exists from people who live below their means. There is such a freedom and a peace when you live and operate below your means and you create margin. Just like that margin I created in my time back in 2012 and 2013 when I stopped doing all of the things. When you stop living beyond your means or at your capacity, life gets easier, gang. And when life gets easier, guess how much your phone rings? A lot. Because God knows that you're ready to handle it. But if you're maxed out, right? If you're holding on to money, If you're holding on, like how much can you give if you're holding on to all of your money or holding on to all of your time or holding on to all of your stuff? How much can you give? How much attention? Everybody right now, pull out your hand and make a fist, right? And I mean like you're holding on to it, okay? How tight does that feel all the way through? Now, you have freedom. You release, you create some margin. Like you feel that release? That's what happens when you live below your means. That's what happens when you don't have any debt. That's what happens when you have a tax account with $50,000 in it sitting there just waiting to go to the government. And you don't care because it's like paying a light bill because you made 500 grand. That's what that feels like. And that's what they were able to feel like. Came debt free, paid cash for a car, saved 6 months in emergencies, added an addition in the middle of the pandemic, brought the kids home, started homeschooling the kids, selling 12 to 15 houses a month, living on her husband's income. Isn't that interesting? I can the peace that you're experiencing, you're like, that just feel amazing right now. Yeah, 100%. So that's what's possible when we have a plan, a path of money, right? We add age to it, and we create a spending plan to just be an adult. I cleaned it up for Brent. So one thing I've learned, one thing I learned from a mentor of mine, don't be lazy with language, right? Don't be lazy with language. We just got to be an adult. Say it out loud before we do it. Anyone here ever use MyFitnessPal? Right? Oh, we got some MyFitnessPal users. Great. Here's the game we play. Who uses MyFitnessPal today? Great. Do you currently put the food in before or after you eat the food? You put it in before. Who's the after people? Great. Awesome. And if you go through the greatest restaurant on the planet, In-N-Out, and you go through the drive-through, do you put the double, the animal fries, and the milkshake in the MyFitnessPal, or you're like, tomorrow I'll start? What would happen if you put it in before you went through the drive-through? Would you have gotten the animal fries? Nope. Would you have gotten the milkshake? Yeah, it would have been negative, right? Our money is no different. Every dollar is the greatest app on the planet for this. There's other apps out there, Monarch Money, YNAB, You Need a Budget, every dollar. Again, it's however your brain works, but every dollar is the app that I recommend. I'll have a resource guide that has all of this stuff on it, by the way, gang, here in the end. So it's the number one app to plan your money. And if you really want to hack this, you need one for your business and one for your personal. Don't try to do this all together and save $80 a year. Trust me. Especially if you are in production or you're a team leader, you need two. You need a personal and a business. Okay? All right. So we're rounding second, kind to third, coming home. If all this stuff over the last 45 minutes, Matt, all this did was to create a consistent income, would it be worth it? If we went from inconsistent income to predictable profits, would the last hour have been worth it? Great. What if you were profitable on every single transaction every time? From here to eternity, was the last hour worth it? What if you were free of debt? Worth it. What if it helped you save your first $1,000? Your next 10? Or maybe for the first time ever, you opened your savings account and had $100,000 in it. Would it be worth it? My favorite question. What if you built a healthy relationship with money and with your spouse for maybe the very first time ever? Would it be worth it? Yeah. Save your marriage. Okay. I have an opportunity for people to work or to learn from me in an environment like this, but it's online. It's 3 days. We're going to talk about unlocking your financial transformation, creating a wealth map, cash flow system profit first, and we're going to turn inconsistent income to predictable profits. 3 days, general admission or VIP, we're going to spend 3 hours or 6 hours together. The retail of that's $4,100 to spend 6 hours with me, to go through all of this stuff in a group environment. But because we're brothers and sisters at EXP, and we're friends of Brent's, like FOB, friend of Brent, like it's a great card to have. At a lot of places, I'm a FOB, friend of Brent. $197 for 3 days for the Path to Profit Challenge. Right? It's $200. That's a tank of gas in California. I'm not wrong. I got a rental car last night at budget, and I think I booked like some sort of SUV or whatever, like a 5-seater or whatever. I don't know. I got a lot of stuff. I'm going on the road for 7 days, so I got a lot of stuff. I'm a little extra. And they're like, we got a Lincoln Navigator. I was like, you got anything bigger? This thing is huge. But she asked me the question, do you want to prepay your fuel? And I thought it was like, I'll just prepay the per gallon. And I was like, no, you buy the entire tank. And I'm like, I'm going to Roseville. Like, I'm going to El Dorado Hills, I'm back. I'm just making a lap. And I saw it was an extra $240. It was more than the price of the car. And I'm like, people are spending $200 with me for 3 days? I got to charge more money. Or I got to get in the gas business, one of the two. So here's how you can enroll. And it's, I don't think the dates were up there, October 28th, 29th, and 30th. 28, 29, 30. 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock Pacific, so before lead generation time for us here on the West Coast. And use promo code 50OFF, and it's less than $100 to spend 6 hours together in 2 weeks going through this framework. And Rob, I'll give you the link so you can put that in like the YouTube stuff and send it out, but in case people don't have the QR code. Is that fine? Is that okay? All right, less than $100. You're going to understand your Oz, unlock your transformation. You're going to set up your profit first bank accounts, and you're going to know how to do a budget for $100. Deal? Cool. All right. So I promise this isn't QR code cycle, but it's the easiest way. So one of the things that, and by the way, we're going to wrap up in like 6 minutes, and then I want Q&A time. So I'm here, I came to Sacramento to serve you guys. But these are some tools and resources. So one of the biggest challenges when I'm working with an agent or an entrepreneur for setting up Profit First is, hey, we got to have all of these accounts, right? We need one for income, profit, owner's pay, taxes, operation expenses, savings, swimming with great white sharks, personal bank, business bank, all this stuff. And then they go to their bank, their credit union, Wells Fargo, Chase, Capital One, whoever, credit union, and they're like, hey, we need 8 accounts, no minimums, no fees. And the bank's like, what, huh? Right? And so Profit First Professionals, that organization, which I'm a member of, partnered with this bank, Relay Financial, that I'm a partner of, to help you set up 20 bank accounts in less than 24 hours. This is the link. This is the link to apply. You probably don't have your EIN and your articles of incorporation and your operation agreement sitting in your back pocket. So scan this, leave it open, go back to the office, look it up, finish the application, upload a selfie, and in 24 to 48 hours, you've got your dashboard. Send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll tell you I'll send you a video or walk you through how to set up your 5 to 7 bank accounts. Or have it, and then we can talk about it in the Path to Profit Challenge. Okay? It's the easiest way. No minimums, no fees. No minimums, no fees. Make transfers. They do ACH payments. They actually have a receipt and invoice management system on the bank. Like this is next level stuff. Cloud-based bank, Relay Bank Relay Financial is the fintech. The bank behind it is Thread Bank. But I want you to go through this link. A, it helps me. B, it also allows you will, a lot of the limits are raised, and you get a discount on if you want to have a higher level of account. They reduce some fees too. They, like, if it's like $50, if you want all the suite of tools, it's like $25. So you get a discount on that inside of Relay if your business requires it. Most of you guys don't. Okay, so Relay Financial is the banking platform that every single one of my coaching clients and wealth department students and friends use. I know Gary uses it. Who else in here? Johnny, are you set up on Relay yet? Okay, we need to get you set up on Relay for sure. I don't think anyone else uses it. So it works, gang. Like it's next level stuff. Okay? Brent, the Goves use it. Yeah, so we use that on Gove Enterprise and also the other businesses they have. Don't worry, Rob, it's coming to Mammoth. Okay? All right. This is the easy way for us just to get connected on Instagram. Is the easiest place. Scan that. It's been an honor serving you guys. Let me back up. So, at Coach Matt Plumer, Facebook Matt Plumer. Was today good, guys? Gang? Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Take a snapshot of this. One of the biggest requests I get all the time is like, well, hey, what are your favorite books? Where do I start? Other than my world-class written ebook. The one thing, Miracle Morning, Profit First, Simple Path to Wealth, man, that's so good. Buy Back Your Time, Who Not How, 10X is easier than 2X, Die with Zero, The Psychology of Money, and The GOAT, The Total Money Makeover. So take a picture of that 2026 reading guide right there. You read that, like you read those, I mean, that's $200, right? That's $200. The challenge is $100. You're out the door for $300 and your entire 2026 is lined up. Go crush it, right? Okay, was today good? Awesome. Do we have a mic? Okay, great. Let's definitely, so like I said, like obviously this is an open mic Q&A mastermind. No question, I mean, I've never lost a patient. Right, so we're good. We're in a safe environment. It's only going out to YouTube, so nobody will know about it. But again, if you're behind the camera, they can't see you. But no, if you have a question, business money, personal money, you got an investing question, a tax thing. I don't get too much into the weeds because there's obviously some things I can and can't say, or it's more of a private conversation, or like. Go talk to your CPA or go talk to your investment advisor. But again, we can keep it high level. If we keep it like top right, which I call top right, high value, high dollar question, we can definitely answer. But again, no questions too small, no questions too big. Burning question you have in your about your money with your marriage, and then or anything that we talked about today.
Matt, great presentation. When it comes to that website that you just shared us, Relay. If we have bank accounts already, does the money just go in there and then they transfer over?
You can, yes, you can, and that's generally where it starts. Is once the Relay account is opened, we season it, fund it with $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever to just kind of get 1 foot from the boat to the dock, and then once we're at that place, then you can just change all of your commissions to go into Relay. I mean, treat it, it's a bank. It's a banking platform. You would just, all of your commissions would go from, instead of Bank of America, it would go to the income account at Relay. And again, if you use that link, like you've got my attention. So I will 1,000% walk with you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can I ask you what Melinda's Instagram handle is, please?
At Mo Plumer. At MOPLUMER. And I will tell you, she's not the most social, if it's not home decor or dogs, she doesn't want anything to do with it. But one thing, and where I encourage you, and I don't know where your question's coming from, and it doesn't matter, but I will promise you this. Every time I speak and Melinda's either in the room or she's asked about, she will get a DM on how to walk with your husband through a storm. And if that's any of you ladies, 1,000% send her a message, because she has the heart of an angel, and she will walk through fire with people. She's that good. Hey,
Matt,
Tom. Yeah.
love your show. My question is based off of David's question about Relay. It seemed like the value of it is that once I get a check, I close escrow, it goes into Relay, and boom, it automatically goes out to the different accounts that I've decided for my savings and my Australia trip and my taxes and my new whatever, marketing, etc. We talked earlier about the idea of having an LLC and how that, or an S corp, and how that benefits you from being able to take a paycheck as an employee. How does that all fit together? And forgive me if this is too nuanced, we can take it offline, but it seemed I'm trying to put all the pieces together as you've described it.
So on that, two parts. One, yes, actually, so not only can you set up a bunch of accounts at Relay, they have an automation process that we can set up and preset that we want X% to go to these 6 accounts. So $10,000 comes in, sends, the brokerage pays sends the money, or the title company sends the income account. The next morning, we have a rule set up that 5% goes to profit, 50% goes to owner's pay, 20% to taxes, 20% to operation expenses, 10% for business savings. Automatically, that's done the next day. That's why you do it. Okay. The bank accounts and the automation. Now, how LLCs and S corps all work in that.
And can you give us advice on how to set those up? Or
100%.
Is it easy as
Day 2 of the Path to Profit Challenge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And there's, again, in my ebook, I think I talked through some percentages, and Mike's book, Profit First, talks through some percentages. But we actually, in the wealth department, and if we're engaged in conversation, like we go through an instant assessment that says, here's what your reality is. This is how much is going to the existing accounts or existing line items. But you're doing it out of one account, right? You're doing it out of that $1 million account, so you don't feel anything. So it always feels like there's stress and tension. Once you do that instant assessment, then it's like, okay, hey, I'm already here. Here's where I want to be in 90 days. Here's where I want to be in 180 days. Here's where I want to be in 360 days. Okay. With the entity structure and all of that, and LLCs and S corps, when you sign up and enroll for the account, you will enroll as either a sole proprietor or an LLC or an S corp, whatever you currently are getting paid as. Right? Doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. And the government doesn't. The government doesn't care, and the banks don't care. They just want to make sure that we're sending it to the right person. And then how all of that works from a tax strategy is all based on revenue, how much money we make, and what's our adjusted gross income, and pass through entities and stuff like that. So we can definitely get into the weeds on that, but to keep it high level, most of us are probably or should be set up as an LLC and file as an S corporation. It's the number one way to eliminate self-employment tax, which is 15.3%, unless you just like writing checks and lighting money on fire. And so that is generally the traditional way that most real estate agents are set up. Now there's always option B and option C, and that's where we bring in tax professionals and entity strategists to map that out. But again, for the most part, to keep it high right, that's where we want to go. Great, thank you.
Matt, thank you very much. Hey,
Good to
Matt.
see you, buddy.
We've talked a few times. I'm a slow learner, so I'm coming one step at a time towards you. My challenge has been I'm running a lot of different fingers in different pies, and I'm winding up with a lot of inability to track the money as far as like in a QuickBooks categorized. It just takes so long to set all of that up. I go to hire a bookkeeper, and they want me to have it all set up before they take it over. And it's like, that's what I'm hiring you for. And so those kind of problems. I do it well on the property management side. I have systems for that. But my other businesses, my personal businesses, it just comes in I guess my question is Is it at my expectation to hire somebody to do that, or is it just something I've got to carve the time out to get it all set up?
Here's one thing I've learned, Barry. We can't leverage what we don't know. Doesn't mean you have to be a professional, but you need to have it organized and do it in a way so you can explain it to someone and then let them take the ball and run. Right? I was moving trying to create or move into a new CRM. And I was like, to my operations person at the time, I was like, I just need you to do it. Wrong. She was, I don't know who Haley is, right? I don't know if she should go here, tag this or whatever. You guys, I had to do it. Now, did I have to set up the account? No. Do I have to manage the account? No. Do I have to make sure all of the stuff works? No. But I have to know how it works. And so to your question, Barry, the thing that I believe will help you, and if I understood your question correctly, is like you have a lot of things coming into accounts and they're paying for a lot of things that aren't necessarily the same thing. Like money's coming in and it's buying groceries and it's also paying for a plumber to go do a thing, right? Or whatever. And so I would encourage you to take one entity at a time and just go through your past 3, 6, 9, 12 bank statements and just see what is already happening. This is awareness. So grab your Chase card that you use and see, it's like, oh, I paid for personal groceries and business gas and this on that one card. I was like, okay, well, let's just take all of this and move it over here and take this and leave it there and take the other ones. Like, we don't even need that. Let's just put that on our personal debit card. And just move through that process. And yes, it sometimes can take a while or be heavy lifting, but if you do it right, how many times is it hard?
Once.
First time. Setting up every dollar is hard one time. And then when you look at it every single day for 5 minutes, how easy is it to manage our cash? Super easy. So everything is hard once. And then the next time it's a little easier, and the next time it's a little easier. And I think, the book, The One Thing, one of my favorite reads, talks about one of the biggest challenges is people that they think big and they go big. I want you to think big and go small. Think big, I'm going to have profit first for all of my entities. I'm going to have a gorgeous budget done, and I have everything on a debit card and all of this stuff, and I'm going to try to do it all by Thanksgiving. Maybe. But if we did it and said, hey, I'm going to carve out 30 minutes a day to really understand this, and over the next 30 days, that's 900 minutes, I think you can probably be pretty proficient at it by Christmas. But it's going to be hard one time, right? And that's when people said, what do I do? And I was like, it's going to suck for 2 hours, once, maybe twice. But after that, it's 10 minutes. Now, it might be longer for more people, but like it just isn't as hard as people think it is, because they're unwilling to face the demon that's staring them in the face, so they'll just go sell another house. Or they'll just go on Instagram and hit that dopamine. I encourage you to find the dopamine in the discipline. The discipline is the new dopamine. I got a writer downer. It took me an hour and a half. The discipline is the dopamine's in the discipline. Find that edge. Yes, in the back.
Hi, okay, Dave Ramsey every Friday would do his millionaire call-in show. And so I'm just wondering if you're having somebody reach retirement age at 65, taking into account that longevity, people are living longer, and inflation, what are you telling them to be a safe dollar amount to have in the bank?
In the bank or for retirement? Or like in retirement accounts or investment accounts?
You want to be, it used to be you'd be comfortable with 3 million, but now I'm hearing it's more like 6.
So great question. Thank you for asking it. Retirement's not it's not an age, it's a financial number. So we retire when we get to a certain number. Now, what's that number? We got to know what Oz is. When I wrote down 55 and Cabo house paid for cash, Vegas house paid for cash, living on a let's just call it a $300,000 a year lifestyle without having to do a coaching call. That takes a lot of cash in a retirement account. And then what's going to be our pull-off rate? And there's always been this 4% rule, right? If you've got $1 million saved and you pull off in a call it the S&P 500 in an investment account, and you pull off 4%, that's going to pay you $40,000 a year and still grow. Like it'll always kind of over time replenish itself because of just how the stock market is. And so you're like, well, 40 grand a year be enough if I don't have a mortgage, right? If I don't have any debt and I don't have to pay for kids' college, and I've funded all of my weddings that I have to fund for my kids, right? And I'm working on grandkid stuff because they're more fun. Of what I've heard, they're more fun than the kids. So I've heard. We don't have any, but that's what I've heard, right? And so we start figuring out, hey, how much does Oz cost, right? At 62, 65, 54, whatever it is. And that's the number. And that number might not be, and again, we're in this room. That might be, how many agents do I need? How many people, how many rental properties do I need? How many do I need in the stock market? And so if we use that 4 or 5% to pull off of, and we're like, hey, life is going to cost $120,000 a year after or before taxes, because this is all before tax money, unless it's in a Roth, but let's just say it's not. So now it's like $120,000 is probably $90 after taxes. How much do we need? That's $3 million, right? 3 million times 4% is 120. Is that enough for you to live without work and any more money to keep, and how long is that going to last for? If that's not enough, then we need more money, or we need a lesser amount, or whatever. So there's this game that we play to figure out, it's like, okay, if it's not here, well, it's not 6, because I don't need 240 grand, and I don't want to leave the kids $10 million, so it's going to be 4.5. That gets us 180 grand. How many houses do I have to go sell? And that's one of the things that I love doing, is helping real estate agents identify how many houses they have to sell to exit the transaction treadmill. Because it's just a number, right? It's just a number in a set period of time. Because we know how much we're making out of every check. Because if you're like, hey, I pay myself 50 cents of every dollar out of every check, and I live on this amount, I now know how many houses it's going to take to live. And then I was like, oh, I need to add $2,000 for investing, because if I do that for 20 years, that's $4 million. Okay, great. So I got to go sell this many houses for 20 years, or this many houses for 6 years to get this, and it's just math. That's all it is. But when we have our head down in our phone and doing this, like we never look up and say, oh, I only have to sell 24 houses. Versus like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to sell 36, I'm going to sell 36, I'm going to sell, what, you only need 25. So let's go sell 25. Or if you want to do it faster, sell 36. But you don't have to sell 36 to go get the thing. And we don't have to always keep just moving the goalpost over and over and over and over. Right? It's 26.2 miles for a reason. Like, anybody run a marathon? Has anyone run a marathon? 1, 2. Sunday, right? Do they give you an extra medal or t-shirt if you do it in 4 hours versus 6? Nope. You only get it if you cross the line. That's retirement. They don't give you more stuff, right? That's why I play golf with guys that, aren't as, aren't like, professional golfers, or their average 15 handicap. They're like, what tees do you want to play? I was like, I play in the back tees, but like, what tees do you want to play? It's like, they don't give you any extra bonus points for going all the way back. They do in the handicap, but they don't give you any extra bonus points. It costs you more golf balls, right? So go play the tees that you want to play to have fun. You don't have to go see the whole golf course, right? So find the number that it's going to take to go exit the treadmill, and then get laser focused at that number. Not the 4 million number, the 26.4 houses you have to sell. and paying yourself 50 cents of every dollar. That's what you get focused on. And then how many conversations is that? Chances are it's probably close to 20 a day. And it takes about 3 hours. Oh, okay. I go $6 million, 3 hours a day? All right, let's go run that race. It's a lot more fun than a marathon.
Matt, do you have any suggestions on how to stop the creep up of expenses?
I mean, it's so hard, especially now. Like, I mean, you know, our cost of goods are just, they always are going up. I think the number one thing that people, there's two mentalities, right? This is like the wisdom and the mindset. The two things that people can implement, I believe, and they're not strategies, they're more principles, is delay gratification. Like, just delay gratification, right? You know, you don't need the new thing today. You might need a new car, right? I mean, I had a coaching call 24 hours ago. And the husband started out like, he was talking like this, and we were having a good conversation, and then he brought up that his transmission went out. I was like, cool, awesome. I mean, you guys have cash, no problem. And then he was like, well, I need a new truck. I was like, well, you don't need a new truck, you need a truck. And then he kind of went like this. And I was like, well, do you have any other cars? He's like, well, we've got one that somebody gave us, and it's sitting in our driveway. Well, how much is that thing worth? $4,000. Well, how much is your truck worth that's got a blown engine? $3,000. That smells a lot like $7,000. So we're not at a new truck. We're halfway to a used truck, right? And I'm like, how long is it going to take to go save up $7,000 to $10,000, $15,000? How much you want to spend on a truck? $25,000. Okay. I mean, you guys make $75,000 a year or a month in your business. Do you think we can carve off 15 over the next 30 to 60 days to go buy a $25,000 truck? Delay gratification. And then he put his sunglasses on. I was like, he mad. Because he wanted to go get a new truck. And then the second principle is get from A to B. What's it take to get from the 1st of the month to the 30th of the month? What's it take? Not what do you want? What's it take? We're all real estate agents. What's it take to go close 3 houses a month? A pen and paper, a database, and a phone, and a car. And obviously you need some like tech stuff, right? But I mean, that's all we need. We don't need the other $4,500 we spend a month. So what's it take to get from A to B? And just say that out loud over and over and over. Melinda and I, in 2014, like I said, we were spending $14,000 making $8,000. One of the things we did was we sold a car. We knew our cars were killing us, but I couldn't wake up and just sell a car. You know, we're underwater, all the stuff. But it took us about 8 or 9 months to get to a place to where we could sell the car. I ended up short selling it. Found a place that would loan me $20,000 at like 5 or 6% interest to go pay off the delta of the car. Okay? But I traded $45,000 of debt for $20,000 of debt, a much smaller payment, but we only had one car. But Melinda and I, before that, said, hey, can we make it 90 days in one car? Now, we lived in Northern Virginia. I was remote. I had like a consulting job, so I could really work from anywhere. She worked like 30 minutes away, so we could figure it out for 90 days. And we just like, hey, we just now get to 90 days. We made it 90 days. I'm like, still married? Intense fellowship conversations had gone down. Weren't killing each other. It's like we saved $4,000. Want to make it another 90 days? Made another 90 days. A to B. Made another 90 days. For 8 years. 1 car. 3 fights. I almost bought a car twice. But we figured out how to use Uber. We figured out how to have 3 appointments in one place. We figured out to where if I was meeting with 1, 2, 3 people, it was at 9 o'clock, 10:30, 1:30, same place. And I got to know a lot of waitresses at Not Your Average Joe's in Reston, Virginia, because I was there every Wednesday from 11 to 4, because that's where I did my meetings, because I didn't have a car, but it was from here to the other side of the parking lot. Get from A to B. And then just as you make more money, add age to it before you put it in your personal budget. Like that, just practice that and have that become your daily practice of, I only need X amount of dollars to live. I'm going to add age for it for investing. I'm going to add age to it for savings. I'm going to add age to it for the new car I'm going to buy in 2 years, or whatever the thing is. Have those as practices, Johnny, and that will, I don't know if it solves the lifestyle creep because that's real, but it'll put a downward pressure on it pretty good. Thank you. Was today beneficial? Yes. Awesome. Does Brent and Rob need to wait another 12 months for me to come back, or can I come back in the spring?
Yes. Come on.
Awesome. Any other questions before we wrap? This was great, gang. Thank you so much. Who's going to the office after this for the mixer? Great. Awesome.
Everybody's invited. We'll see you there for lunch.
Awesome. If you guys have any questions, make sure you follow me on Instagram, social, all that stuff, and I'm an open book. I don't bite, and I've never lost a patient.
Thanks, Matt.